Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Saturday morning, so you know it's time for another live edition of The Extra Point. PO Culture in the house. We got the queen of hot takes, Tasha T. Sizzle, and the producer of the show, Mr. Michigan Mike, Michael Hasso, in the house. How goes it today, Michigan Mike? Mike, can we see your shirt? What are you rocking?
Yeah, I'm ready for that rematch. Ready for that
Oh,
rematch game
yes.
tonight.
Oh, yes. We will be talking national championship rematch. We'll be talking a lot of college and pro football today, specifically college. Tasha T. Sizzle, you're looking very festive this morning. How goes it today?
It goes. I'm just waiting for us to finish this little silly show that entertains many. Thank you for your support. So I can go eat because I'm hungry.
Because she is hungry. I ain't mad at that. I had a
Sasha said it's 9:02. Ma'am, we're on.
And she said, good morning. Just finished 8 Miles. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I like that movie. It's a good movie.
Right. Did you see Rabbit?
No, she just finished 8 miles.
Oh, I thought she was like...
she's training for a half marathon.
What's that pace look like, though? That's what I want to know.
Right.
It doesn't matter as long as she finishes. We don't care.
Post your pace. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to kick off today's show with a little buy or sell college football edition. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a new number one team in the country. The Alabama Crimson Tide, after their thrilling 41-34 victory over the Georgia Bulldogs last Saturday night. They have now leapfrogged the Texas Longhorn as the number one team in the country. Mike, let's start with you. You're going to lead off today. Are you buying Alabama as the best team in the country after 5 weeks?
Alabama, I'm going to say no. They started off the first half really good. I would probably say yes on that first half. That second half, or that fourth quarter, to be specific, it looked very SEC defense-esque, or I should say the past Big 12 defense. It was just bad. I would say Georgia and Alabama on that. I'm gonna say no. I still think Texas is that number one spot from what they've proven.
I'm going to back what Mike said up with some numbers. Through the first quarter and a half of that game, Alabama raced out to a 28-0 lead. From the 10-minute mark in the second quarter, Georgia outscored Alabama 34-13, and if not for the heroics of the cornerback getting that pick in the end zone, that could have been the most epic collapse in the history of that storied program. It will be a much different story today if that freshman receiver didn't do his theatrics in the closing drive of that game. So, Tasha, let me ask you, are you buying Alabama as the number one team in the country right now?
Yep.
Oh, just yep, huh?
I mean, it really, you can say that Georgia kind of lost the game. You can argue that. But when you let a freshman do a spin move in between two defenders, and then you had the freshman, was his name Xavier, and I can't think of his last name, with the key interception that Carson Beck threw. Some of that stuff, like you can't coach that. But what you can coach is one Jalen Milroe. Do you guys see how much he's progressed from Saban? I mean, when he was under Saban, now that he's under DeBoer. And I said that is because Saban did not know. Now, this is going to be sounding strange because Saban can coach anything and anybody. But I really don't think Saban was ready to coach a player like Jalen Milroe with his certain set of skills. But you had a coach in DeBoer who coached one Michael Penix Jr. They have a similar style of play. So I think the coaching is what's making the difference when it comes to Milroe. But again, I wasn't really up on Bama this year. I thought it was going to be a down season, and anybody who says they didn't outside the Alabama faithful is lying. I'm surprised that they are doing this good, but I'm kind of not surprised. But I do see them as being number one. Texas don't even know who they finna play at quarterback.
Tasha, you're really going down the script right here, and great segue on that because my next question was to you. And Denise, Mike can run a mile. Mike can run a mile.
I can walk a marathon. Come on now.
Thank you, Sasha. Tell him don't come.
I'll be running every day. Come on now.
Tell him don't come for you.
Right. Well, I'm glad you went there, Tasha, because I'm going to come back to you because I had a question. Now, Jalen Milroe became the first player in the AP poll era to have at least 300 yards passing, at least 100 yards rushing, 2 passing touchdowns, and 2 rushing touchdowns in the same game. He was a cheat code. Now you have a lot of national pundits, including one Mel Kiper Jr., the whole scout guru, saying that Jalen Milroe's stock has really risen up into the top 10 echelon as far as draft picks. Tasha, are you buying that Milroe's game can translate to the pro level?
I mean, he's basically a college level Anthony Richardson, and Anthony Richardson is in the pros.
Yeah, he's looking real shaky right now, though, Tasha.
Well, he's injured, so you got a coach that sent you back out there when you had already taken a hit, and then the play that you ran was a quarterback option run. So that wasn't smart coaching. Right.
I should have known that you would know that because they were playing the Steelers, so I figured that you would have been locked into that. That is a good point, and they are misusing him, playing him like a fullback.
Exactly.
Mike,
but,
your thoughts on Milroe?
He outplayed Carson Beck, and I remember on Monday I was watching one of the shows, and they were like, "Oh, arguably the number one draft pick, number one quarterback," and I'm thinking, who? Carson Beck? Not throwing that interception in a crucial moment like that. He ain't.
I saw those reports as well. Now, he did turn it on in the second half. He figured some things out and got over the top of that secondary and pretty much torched them in that second half. He had a good game as well, but the interceptions were the difference in the game. Mike, are you buying Jalen Milroe as a legitimate top 10 draft pick type prospect?
Yeah, I think he looks good. I think he looked good last year. I think his biggest thing that I saw was his center or his offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
You got to remember that Rose Bowl game, they had a lot of mess up snaps from that center. And it's almost like for people that watch baseball, when you have a bad catcher that can't get you the ball and you're in rhythm, it just throws you off the whole game. And it's like, man, throw me the ball. And it's kind of the same for the center. It's like, if you keep messing up the snap, you can't get a good rhythm going. I like Milroe.
I like Milroe as well. I would like to see who else is in the draft with him if he comes out this year or if he decides to come back for one more season. But he definitely put on a show against Georgia, who many people consider to have one of the most elite defenses in college football. Now, if he wasn't the MVP of the game, then rookie freshman sensation Ryan Williams certainly turned a lot of heads. This 17-year-old kid hauled in 6 catches for 177 yards and the game-winning touchdown, basically saved Kalen DeBoer, because you can only imagine the first big game that Alabama plays without Saban, if they were to have that type of collapse, what the narrative would be around him and the program today on this show. He bailed them out. Mike, are you buying Williams as a legitimate Heisman candidate after that performance?
No. I think it's pretty much a 1 or 2 person race. I think Travis Hunter's to lose. I would say Colorado's if they tank somehow. I'm gonna go Travis Hunter on this one still.
I agree with you as far as him being the front runner. Tasha, do you think Ron Williams deserves Heisman consideration after his performance? And he's been doing this before this game as well.
Yes, that boy is must-see TV, and he will not be 18 until February. February is when that boy will turn 18. Think
about what we were doing when we were 17 years old.
It definitely wasn't getting a highlight reel together in Bryant-Denny and all other stadiums being number one play in the sports in the top 10. Yeah. But I do agree. I would like to see Travis Hunter win it. But I do wish Travis Hunter was like one-sided, like a defensive player, because you know how they said, Charles Woodson took some snaps on the offense, so he wasn't just truly a defensive player. I would really like to see Travis Hunter win it, but I wouldn't be surprised if the 17-year-old phenom Williams is not in that conversation come December.
if Alabama is able to remain atop the rankings and they win a couple of playoff games, I think that he definitely can get a seat at the table in New York. He would be the first freshman to win the award since Johnny Manziel. If he's able
and he will be the only true freshman if he does win it.
Good point.
Manziel's redshirted.
Yeah,
Good
they
point.
won't let that happen. We got to remember it's political too, so they ain't gonna let him do that.
I'm so sick of the politics. Like, this is how we started the whole college season off with the whole record. And I know Tasha's not a fan of 3-loss people getting Heisman consideration, but dadgummit, man, let's give it to the best player. Good morning,
Stop giving it to the quarterback. It's like every quarterback does not need to win the Heisman.
No, and especially not this year, because one hadn't really separated themselves from the other. And I'm a big Shedeur fan, and I still think that Travis Hunter should be the front runner. And the kid Gente, from the running back from Boise State, has put up some crazy numbers as well. Good morning, Melanie.
I think we're close though. I mean, the Aiden Hutchinson was pretty close for that second spot on the Heisman. So I think we're getting there.
Like I said, if you're gonna just keep giving it to quarterbacks, what is it? The Davey O'Brien? Is that the quarterback award?
You could
why give a Davey O'Brien award to the best quarterback if you're just going to keep giving it the Heisman to the best quarterback?
Yeah, and Mike used the word political, and it really is, because it's going to lean towards the best quarterback on the best team, which will keep people like Carson Beck and Ewers and people of that ilk in the running. Now, let's stick with Colorado on the next buy or sell. Colorado enters their bye week with the same number of wins that they had all of 2023. They're 4-1, riding a 3-game win streak. They're coming off their most impressive victory of the Coach Prime era, a 48-21 dismantling of UCF. And for people to say, oh, it was just UCF, Mike could tell you this. He's a Vegas guy. Vegas had them as a 14-point favorite over Colorado. They had the number one rushing offense in the country at 375 yards a game. Colorado had one of the worst rushing offenses in college football, but Colorado outrushed them in the game, punched them in the mouth, and continued to punch. I was shocked, awed, and dismayed by what I saw last Saturday afternoon down there in Florida. ESPN Bet now has Colorado only favored to lose one other game. They'll be underdogs in one other game, and that's, as you see up here, thank you, Mike, for this graphic. That'll be next Saturday, the 12th, against Kansas State. It's the last time they'll be underdogs, as it stands right now. Tasha, are you buying or selling the Fighting Proms as a legitimate contender for the Big 12 title?
Yeah, I think Utah's going to win it, but they are looking a lot better than they did last year. And also to that UCF, most of those boys on that Colorado team are from Florida.
Right.
So that was like a little home cooking there.
Great point.
But they are looking a lot better. I still need to see more of a running game. The offensive line is not as bad. Shedeur is not getting hit nearly as much as he did. And did you see the shade him and Travis Hunter gave to Cam Newton?
Oh, we're going to talk about that in just a second. It's almost like you're sitting here reading the script. So let's use that as a tease, because I want to come back to you on that. But first, Mike, your thoughts on Colorado's chances to win the Big 12? Are you buying or selling them as a legit contender?
Yeah, I would buy them as well. I don't really see them. I mean, of course, it's Kansas State, but I would see them struggle more with Utah. The spread's probably not up for that one. But yeah, I definitely see them as a contender. I think they're doing great. I think the biggest thing that I've noticed is his coaching style. I think he's kind of honed in a little bit now that it's conference play, and you can see Dion pretty much starting the whole practice over. I think he's like,
you like that, didn't you, Mike? You like that?
Oh yeah, I love that coaching style. I'm like, all right, y'all done had fun. Now let's get down to business. Yeah, I love that from Dion.
And did you guys know that he gives Travis Hunter like 2 or 3 days off of practice?
Mm-hmm. Well, when you play 100 snaps a game.
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't
practice.
Have to
we talk about practice.
I think Monday and Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, he doesn't have to practice.
Right. And I loved his explanation about that as well, Tasha. And to Mike's point about starting that practice over, it was what he said before he started practice over. It was after their win. I believe it was over Colorado State. And he said, y'all act like y'all dominated. Y'all didn't dominate. Like, what y'all out here dancing and shucking and jiving for? y'all asses back in that huddle and start over. Like on some Nick Saban type stuff. You know what? Him and Saban on those Aflac commercials, I think he's gleaning a little bit because
you know Miss Terry had his back last week because
she sure did.
Yeah. And Miss Terry said, "I got your back, Dion."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Saban keeps picking against the Colorado, so
yeah,
a little shade being thrown.
It was. Now, no shade to this one right here. Happy birthday to the birthday girl, Christina, checking in on her birthday. So glad to have you on board. I hope you got breakfast in bed. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. You get a Saturday birthday. You don't get no better than that. Happy birthday to you. Good morning, AP Culture. Good morning. And y'all, fresh back from the ports of Miami, smoking Cuban cigars with Rick Ross is one Mr. Wayne Donaldson, who went down there to watch the Titans get that dub, on Monday night.
With his custom shirt made by our own Tracy Pooh Stirred Up Creations.
Oh, by the way, Wayne, I just hit up her DMs. I need the exact same one that says PL Culture running down the spine instead of Coop. So when you see me swagger jack, I don't want no comments in the post talking about I stole your style. I'm telling the world I'm stealing your style. I want to put that on to Texas. That was fantastic. But he says it's the notion of a weak Big 12. Who cares about the Big 12? We care about Colorado, Wayne. They don't start and then don't be nothing. I saw you with your push-ups and your arms all out. We'll fight you on this show. Mike ain't scared of you. Don't start that. It was the hottest game in history.
I bet it was. That South Florida heat is, oh my God.
That game put me and Mike to sleep. Well, Mike was handling his anniversary business, so thank God he was distracted. I was forced to watch that BS, but thankful to get the win. Now back to Colorado and the shade coming from Wayne Donaldson and Gen X. And Wayne, I'm talking about you when I asked this as well. But before I ask, no, let's go there. Tasha, I'm seeing a shockingly alarming number of old head Gen X's hating on Shador and Travis Hunter. Just hating on him. And I want to know why. See, first it was Champ Bailey. Oh no, he's not going to be Justin Jefferson and Deion Sanders in the pros. Like, no, who said he was going to be number one in both? You got Richard Sherman. Oh, he's a bland receiver. Him and Amon-Ra St. Brown. St. Brown, nobody would recognize you in the airport. Sit your ass down. Then you got people want to pluck and argue with Deion. Tasha, why are these old heads coming for Shador and for Travis Hunter like this?
I think it's the brashness because I don't think their argument is with Deion because no one is ever going to take away like what Deion has done. Like they said, he's the one that coined the phrase "shut down corner." So I don't think it's necessarily with Deion. I think it's the brashness, and I think it's a little bit of jealousy about how easy the new style athlete has it, as opposed to, oh, we had to do this, or we didn't have this, and we didn't have that. I think it's a lot of the flash, the brashness of the and the style of play of some of these new players. That's what it has to be, because how are you as an adult male going to sit up here and talk bad about these children and their accomplishments, what they're doing on the field? It has to be something personal, because Champ Bailey, no one is trying to dig into your records. No one is, no one's trying to do that. I mean, I haven't heard of Champ Bailey since he went into the Hall of Fame.
Right.
And when was that? Like, no one is. And I mean, Cam keeps himself relevant, but that comment he made, Shador didn't want to dap him up a pregame and called him out in the press. Well, didn't necessarily name him, but we all knew what he said when he was like, "Oh, not bad, just for a quarterback coming from a black school,
right,
or something like that."
And Cam was clout chasing, trying to run on the field and dap them up because he knew all the cameras was going to be on him. He's trying to bring some views to 4th and 1, his podcast. Sit your old ass down.
Right. I think it's just a little bit of that. Like I said, I just wasn't a fan of Deion going to Colorado because I didn't want him to leave Jackson State. And right. I really thought that what he did when he first came to Jackson State, I thought it was a bad thing because you're not going to reproduce that with any other HBCU. So I did think it was a bad thing for him to be there. But once he got there, I saw everything that Prime was doing. Then I got mad at him because he left and went to Colorado, because I wanted that atmosphere to still be there and, have HBCUs brought up to the forefront. Because if you go back in history, the majority of the draft picks back in the day, they were coming out of HBCUs. And for whatever reason, now they're not getting looked at, and you're not getting the plethora of players going into the league coming from HBCUs. But you can't knock what the talent that these kids have and that they're displaying on the field.
Right. Now, Mike, last year, Dan Lanning, right before their game with Colorado, they filmed him in the locker room saying they're playing for clicks, we're playing for wins. And really, Colorado never really responded after getting punched in the mouth. I think they went on to lose the rest of their games, if I'm not mistaken, or they went like 1-7 down the stretch after that. Mike, do you see them as still playing for clicks or more for wins this year? Because I'm looking at it, they don't seem as loud as they were last year. But then again, they're still all over my timeline all damn day, every day. Mike, where are you with the clicks versus wins? Do you think they've matured out of that, or is that still an issue?
I definitely think they mature. I think it's all is what do they say? All is fair in love and war. This is more of a war tactic from Dion. Getting all the clicks first on. Let's get that money in first. He knew that they weren't going to do anything last year. Like, he knew what their offensive line looked like. He was like, man, we kind of trash. Okay, well, let's get a win out of this. Let's get some money through here. Let's get some sold out seats, sold out stadiums. And now he kind of buckled down. You see him starting over practice, pretty much saying, all right, y'all having fun. If y'all lose, guarantee you we're going to get all that negative. Do you want everyone to be right? Yeah. Okay, well, then you buckle down and you better do things right here. This is where it starts in this practice. I've always been a fan of Dion. I hope he ends up at like a power 4 school, kind of like Florida State or something like that, and turn them around. That's what I'd like to see from him.
And Mike, what are your thoughts on this? I can't remember who I was listening to, but they were saying that they don't necessarily think Dion cares about the wins at Colorado. He's caring about putting his players and his athletes to the next level. Not
Man,
like
we talking about prime time here. Like, anybody know him? Come on, he cares about winning. He don't care what team he's on. That's what he wants to do, is win. He don't be on no losing team.
Mike, right. That's an excellent point, because winning is a part of his brand.
Yeah.
Like his whole brand is about winning. Like, if you bring prime time to your city, a la Atlanta and the Dirty Birds, their turnaround when he got to there in the early 90-91, then he goes to San Francisco Defensive Player of the Year. They get over the hump and finally beat Dallas and stop their run. Then that offseason, he goes to Dallas, gets Dallas back over the hump again. His whole brand is based on winning. I do think that there is a lot of truth to the fact that his prime goal is to get, no pun intended, is to get Shedeur and Travis in the best position to go high. And he said on Nightcap, he was a guest last week, which was hilarious. If you hadn't seen that episode, make sure you go on YouTube and find that. Chad Ochocinco and Shannon asked him, are you going to pull an Eli? He said, I'm going to pull an Eli, a LeVar Ball. I'm going to like, he started naming everybody. Then he basically said that he's trying to get his kid to Miami, which Tasha reported 2 weeks ago in the chat, that's where he wants his son to ultimately play. So I'm going to give you your flowers. When he said that, I turned the damn stream off. I didn't want to hear no more, because if you ain't coming to Nashville, then you can get the hell out of my face. They were humbled after last season. Tasha, do you think they were humbled?
Yeah, I think so. Because I think with the talent that they had, they thought that they were just going to come in and run everybody over. But you can have all that talent, but you still got to get everything settled. You got to get your schemes ready. Because you had so many players coming from different universities and different systems. Right. You have to get them there to first of all, you have to get your system. Right. Then you have to get them to buy into your system. And I think, because Dion has let go of some coaches, has brought some new coaches in. Yes. So I think things are finally maybe leveling out now. Because I don't expect them to be they may be in the playoffs. I don't expect them to be in the national championship game or anything. But I think everything is leveling out now. He's got the right amount of eyes on the program. You got the right people looking at the program. Like Mike said, it's not so much about the clicks anymore. Right. It's about putting a product out there on the field. Right.
And I loved his take about that. And that Dion was humble, because Dan Lanning said he was going to kick your ass, and he did. And everybody followed that blueprint of just rush them. No, Wayne, I got to push back. That 5-star tackle they have, left tackle they have. He's been playing outstanding.
Yeah,
and
that freshman. Yeah.
And the SEC's defense, don't let me pitch that to Mike. Don't make me pitch that to Mike.
Let me get him.
Don't make me pitch that to Mike. Georgia got ran through like that girl on Players Club. You know what? It's an early show.
Let me get out of the car. They gonna rape you.
And look, and to Mike's point, so did Alabama. They got ran through in the second half. Like, where's the defense? Martrice says, like I've said in the past comments, these kids train like pros from Pee Wee level, and I see some commenters probably have had a hand in a few. So now y'all hating that they're excelling. Let those young cats shine. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Now, y'all, I'm gonna just tell you right now, if Colorado somehow, some way, and Mike, can you pull back up Colorado real quick? Producer Mike. It like pulling up their schedule. Okay, yeah, Kansas State is going to be a tough one. Arizona, Cincinnati, Texas Tech, Utah, Kansas. If they can somehow get their butt into the Dr. Pepper Big 12 championship game and make the CFP, they're going to do Caitlin Clark numbers. Okay, half the world will be tuning in to watch them win, the other half to watch them lose. If you pick a side, then you're going to do.
They'll have to go undefeated, I think, and win the Big 12 to get in. A 2-loss with that Nebraska loss is a bad loss for them. So it was. And thank God it was early in the season, but they don't have any margin for error. They would have to run the table to make it. But at least it looks like more likely than not that they'll be a bowl team and hopefully a New Year's Day bowl team. I think that would be great.
But will any of the key players play in that bowl game? Are you going to see Shedeur?
Damn, that's a good question. That's a good question. If they're not in the CFP, I don't see them in there.
It's CFP a bust.
Good point. He's playing outstanding because he's playing who? Baylor and UCF. Those guys are not pro. Wayne, are you back in Nashville, Wayne?
It's always.
We might need you to do a pull-up. I need you to pull up.
It's always. Wayne, where you at? Tell your wife I'm my way.
Where you at? Come meet us at the fair next week.
Wayne. I'm about to put my hands on you, Wayne.
Wayne got them frequent flyer miles. Every week he's tagging himself from some location. So come on down to the fair next week. We gonna got a catfish basket for you. We got some hurricanes for you. Mm-hmm. We got a little Texas OU for you.
We got random Texas and OU fans thinking that Paul's Desmond Howard over there.
Right. Now, Solo Sports is coming in hot. He said it's a black thing for sure with this hate from the old players. You don't hear Phillip Rivers saying Arch Manning is trash. That is a bar. And Mike, now Mike is the most be loved, be accepting person. If you've ever been to a Hasso family function, you'll see Jews, Asians, Protestant, black, white, tall, skinny. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like
how do Protestants get into this?
I'm just saying. So Mike, you can sit this one out because I was just thinking this morning, Jarrell, Mr. Solo on Sports. Wouldn't it be funny to hear Dan Marino saying Arch Manning getting the one? Wouldn't it be hilarious to see Tom Brady hating on Queen Ewers? You don't see that.
It's always that crab in a barrel mentality when it comes to black people.
We got to stop that. We got to stop that because we can get stuck in that. But I totally agree with you on that, Jarrell. Y'all quit hating on these kids.
Dominique Foxworth was joking. He was like, when he first got his opportunity to start with the Ravens back in the day, he said he didn't care because he had to make a name for himself. He says, I was that crab. He said he was, because I think his first interception was against Byron Leftwich. And then I think he said he picked off Donovan McNabb, and he was like, I didn't care. He said, I was a crab because I had to make my name. But some of these people already have a name.
But there's a difference, and I know Mike can chime in on this. There's a difference between being a crab and being a competitor. Mm-hmm. Well, just as an aside, me and Mike bowled on a bowling league for a few years, and when we first started, I was bowling anchor. Right. Then one year we get to the meeting, and I said, Mike, you ready to bowl anchor, which is the prime real estate for any bowling team? And he was like, yeah. You think he gave that back? Mike was like, if I go anchor, you ain't getting this back. He wasn't hating. He's just a competitor. Like, okay, well then I'm gonna show y'all. And yes, I'm using bowling because I can't run a 40 no more. All right. Good morning, Carter Paul Culture. Good morning, Sheila Hastings. Good stuff. Good stuff. That he said, I'll just keep it 100, my peeps. I'm not hating. I'm home. I'm headed to Bama up close. Damn.
Yeah, that's one of my. Yeah, I got a ticket, but I didn't know if I wanted to go or not.
Is this Alabama A&M or is this?
No, it's Alabama and Vanderbilt.
Oh.
But I don't know if I want to go because it starts at like 3:15.
Is it at Vanderbilt?
Yeah.
Oh man, they're gonna finally sell out that stadium, huh?
Mike,
well, it's usually sold out. It's just with the opposing team.
Yeah, you can fit them people in 2 boxes.
I didn't say how.
Except for when what's his name at Penn State, except for when he was coaching there. That's the only time that stadium was ever sold out and full with Vanderbilt fans.
You know, speaking of, I'm going to throw a shot in real quick. Speaking of, you know, they probably have more fans than Indiana. Have y'all seen Indiana's fan base recently? They can't even get students. They undefeated over here.
And ranked. When have they ever been ranked?
You know Indiana's a basketball school.
But still, but your team is ranked. Y'all have been.
They don't know. They're not used to having good things. They don't know how to appreciate them.
Treese said, I'm just about to say it's sold out. Treese, let's get some thread. Do I need to send you a cash app? Let's get that tent set up and get Stirred Up Creations popping down there. You know what I'm saying? Like use one of your Derrick Henry prints. You know, he's the king.
$40 shirts. What's up?
Yes, let's get that popping. Miss Hastings, you got anything to do this afternoon? Y'all get on down there and make that, as Tasha called it, make that coin. Because, you know, Christmas is only a couple of paychecks away. It's rapidly approaching. Now, let's go to Michigan as we continue our buy or sell series. The Michigan Wolverines, despite having the 4th worst passing offense in college football, Mike, we are 129 out of 133 in passing offense. Look at Mike. Mike is like, just get to the question. Mike, the Wolverines are 4-1 and ranked number 10 in the country. Are you buying or selling Michigan as a top 10 team despite their passing woes?
Oh, man. I mean, you know, you stole my question because I done asked you this already when the rankings came out.
Well, as soon as you asked me, I was like, oh, that's going in the show.
I'm going to go, as of right now, based on what they've shown me, I'm going to go sell as a top 10 team. The reason being is because I haven't seen as many adjustments from the offense as I'd like to see. I think Orgy has the skill. I think that they need to adjust the offense to be that top 10 team. The only reason why I'm on the fence is because that defense is kind of the saving grace right here.
But when hasn't it been, Mike?
Well, that's the thing. They've always been like that. And what we talked about, you know, Paul and I, was that like the past 10 years, since I can remember, probably past 10 years after Rodriguez era, that defense has always saved the offense. And I think the thing that's kind of like been molding our offense lately to be that national title team is these top 5 ranked defense. And that's who you got to practice against. So I think Orgy and our offense can do it. I think it comes down to the play calling and what Orgy can run. I don't think he is there yet as far as like reading coverages or reading the option plays that he's being ran. So you can see like sometimes he needs to pitch that ball and he holds on to it. I'm like, man, you could have just dumped it off real quick and we could have got 20. I think he can still do it. I still have hope that by Oregon, I think our offense clicks because it's going to need to click by Oregon.
Oregon looks very beatable. Suspect to me. Natasha, do you agree with Mike? Are you selling Michigan as a top 10 team?
Yeah, I'm selling because I'm not keen on that offense. Yeah, you can, like I said, for years. What did I say? I remember what I said. One thing we're going to play in A squared, do in A squared is play defense. But you cannot continue to rely on your defense to keep you in the games. Look what happened to UNLV last night. That defense, as spectacular as it was last night, they were on the field too much and too long. Now, they could have capitalized on some...
Right, catch an interception.
Yeah, some interceptions, and the game could have been over even before overtime. But on that last play, when that Syracuse running back was, got up in there with that guy, you could just tell his steam was just low. He couldn't stop him. So that's what's going to continue to happen to Michigan. That's what had happened before we started, getting that winning spirit back. The defense was wore out. You can't continue to put your defense on there and keep expecting them to save your ass on the offense. Now, to Mike's point about Orgy, I mean, RG3 did that at Baylor, and it won him a Heisman. It wasn't until he got to Washington that he decided he wanted to be a pocket passer. But maybe it's the play calls. Like Mike said, maybe those were specific plays that were called for RG3 back in the day that allowed him to excel the way he was. And maybe they're not being called for Orgy in the same manner.
Good morning, Stephanie Coulter. I'm going to push back on the selling of Michigan as a top 10 team. I don't have the rankings right in front of me, but when you look at 11 through 20 and the teams that have one loss, Michigan has the best win out of all of them, which is USC, and who's one slot behind them at 11. They also have the best one loss out of all the one-loss teams, which is Texas, who Mike opened the show saying he thinks is still the best team in the country. Now, yes, Michigan is 129th in passing offense. They are 7th in rushing offense and 1st in rushing defense, allowing a paltry 2.8 yards per carry. And I was telling Mike this off wax. I think that Sharon Moore, in an unpopular opinion, should be the front runner for Big Ten Coach of the Year, given the fact that he has such deficiencies in talent at the skill position and the quarterback position, and yet this team is continuing to win games. Look at Florida State.
I mean, not that we're just the elitists now. I'm okay with them not being what they have been and not being like that national championship team. But you cannot continue to win. You look at who do we have next? We have Washington today. Then we have Illinois. We got little brother U. We got Oregon. You're going to need some offense against at least two of those teams to win. Like, you cannot keep hoping that Will Johnson is going to get an interception, or the defense, they're going to be on the sideline with the buffs on. You can't keep counting on that to get you your points. The offense is not putting points on the field.
Especially when you got to think our number one receiver on the whole offense, Loveland, was out 2 games or whatever it was. Like, we got to get these receivers hot. And I agree with Tasha on the RG3. Orgy doesn't have that RG3 speed. Mm-hmm. So I think we still got to bounce. And then you got to think about Edwards. Like, I don't know what he's going through. We got to get him active.
A couple jinx to me.
Yeah,
could be.
Yeah.
Look at Christian McCaffrey with the Madden cover.
Look at Ewers. He's going to be playing today, but they really want Arch Manning to be up under center.
We're going to talk about that in just a second as well. But here's my thing with the me buying Michigan as a top 10 team today. Now, a lot of the points that you all are making are overarching for the remainder of the season. You're saying we can't continue to play this way if we're going to be blah, blah, blah. Now, I'm on record. Right. I thought I had this as 8-4. But I'm saying going into tonight's road game at Washington, if you take Michigan, stats aside, if you didn't see a game and you just pulled up what Mike has here, okay, they started number 9. Okay, they beat Fresno State. They lose to Texas. They beat Arkansas State. They beat 11 USC. They beat Minnesota. And you start looking at some of the teams behind them. I mean, Georgia won by 3 points against Kentucky when they trailed the whole time, and then they lost to Alabama. There's a lot of – I don't see anybody who's being that dominant that's behind them. So that's why I say I buy them as a top 10 team, because if you can't run the ball on Michigan and you can't stop their run, they're going to be in the game with you. They're going to be in the game with you. And they're forcing turnovers at a good rate.
That is a valid point.
Now, I do not buy them as a championship contender at all. I still don't even think they're going to make the playoffs this year. I told Carlos Coronado off wax last week that, after the USC game, good game. Y'all will be in the playoffs. We'll be back next year when we have a quarterback, because I agree with everything you said about the offense. I think long term, you're not going to be able to get away with it. I think you can get away with it tonight in Washington. Good morning, Nicholas Sawyers. Speaking of the draft, him and Martrice, y'all going to wear matching suits. Y'all going to have on like sequence suits when Miles go number 1.
Please don't be out there with no sequence, Nick and Treese. Please, Nick, don't show up with no sequin cummerbund and bow tie a la 1990s prom circuit.
No, I say you go with the sleeveless, stirred up gifts with the bow tie and and she can bedazzle something with the get the toes out.
Don't listen.
Miles is going places. Y'all hear me? You hear me? All right. Now, Tasha teased this just a second ago, and I think it bears talking that Texas is on bye this week, but their next game is right here in Big Dallas, where we will be on the premises of the Texas State Fair. Multiple outlets out of Austin, Mike, Tasha, are reporting that Steve Sarkisian is going to put Quinn Ewers back in as starting quarterback against Oklahoma. Are you buying or selling this move, Mike?
So, before the season started, I said Quinn was going to start sometime during the season. It might be a loss. It might be a tough game, but that's going to happen. And then Manning's going to come in and finish the game, and they're going to be in the championship game. This is a I wouldn't do it during the rival game. First of all, I think Manning's still cooking, and it would give him a chance to get some of that big game experience that he needs right now. You can play him against, University of Louisiana Monroe, that he played in, or UTSA. Like, okay, that's great. Right. I think Oklahoma's kind of weak right now, in my opinion. But when you do that kind of switch right before this big rivalry game, that leaves it open for there to be an upset. And I don't necessarily like that move by the coach. I understand that you want to put your most veteran quarterback in right now, especially in this senior game. I think, like we said, this whole show has been like politics, right? I think this is another politics move. I think he put the senior in for his last Red River shootout, which they changed it, but I'm not going to say it. I don't like the move, to be honest.
Tasha, you up?
I mean, I kind of agree with Mike. Not saying that we want Texas to win or we want OU to win, but I think you can keep Arch Manning in because OU is really not like they just tearing up anybody's scoreboard or doing anything.
They struggle mightily against UT.
Mightily on a raggedy ass field, might I add, which is their home field. So they should have been accustomed to it. But I don't think this is the time to put him in, but there is an option if you put him in and he starts stinking to pull Arch Manning in. And then do you ever put him back in? If you get pulled in game,
right?
Do you ever get put back in?
Nope. See, you two have just combined my answer. I love the simpatico between us three because you literally, both of you all basically gave the response that I was about to give. Mike, politics. Tasha, if you pull them, you can't put them back in. They go hand in hand. So if you're not going, you can't put Arch out there. And if he loses to Oklahoma, go to Ewers. Like, you can't do that. Once you go Arch, you're going into the future. Like, hey, man, you might as well go and sit this thing out, Quinn, and get ready for the NFL draft. Like, We're sorry, handshake. At least you walk away uninjured. You're healthy. You can go into your offseason program. We're going to still pay you your money because him and Arch are two of the top 10 highest paid NIL players in the same quarterback room. Texas got that bread, y'all. My goodness.
Because Arch is second, isn't he, behind Shador?
Yes. And Quinn is in the top 10. I think he's 7 or 8. So given what we saw last year at the CFP when all the herd of media was around Arch and nobody standing there with Quinn's mama. You can't undo that once you go, like they had a perfect opportunity to test the waters, as Mike said, because of the injury. But from a politics standpoint, you might lose your locker room if you don't put Quinn Ewers back in there. When I saw him slice and dice Michigan's vaunted defense 4 weeks ago. Oh my God, Mike. He was poking us in the kidney. You
got to think.
Oh God!
You got to look at that schedule again because then they have Georgia a week after Oklahoma, so it might be playing ahead for that game.
Yeah, you want Ewers in there against Georgia,
and none of us really think that Georgia is really kind of any count. They put the most points up against Alabama than they did the first 3 games they played all season.
If not for some uncharacteristic turnovers in the first half, Georgia might win that by 14 points. That's why we led off with, is Alabama really the number 1 team in the country, or did they hold on for dear life and Georgia woke up a little bit too late? I'm not quite sold on Alabama being the best team in the country. They have the best win in the country, but that could be 2 things of not are not mutually exclusive. Now, Wayne, I'm gonna need you to explain yourself here. He says Texas needs to leave the QB situation alone for real. Like, like on which front?
Are
Like
you
he means like going
Ewers
back
or
and forth.
Manning?
Yeah.
Like they cannot keep vacillating because what everybody say, if you got two quarterbacks, you ain't got one.
None.
Vacillating, is that what you rub on your chest?
I said vacillate, which means to go back and forth.
Okay, because Mike sent me a clip last week of Arch Manning dropping a 49-yard touchdown, and then when the play happened, he started.
I said he is the most coordinated, the fastest, the most everything Manning. You done had 3 of them in the league, and ain't none of them had that much rhythm combined together.
I want Arch #1 overall. Come on home to Tennessee.
Yeah, he's gonna go to Michigan next year. Come on now.
Right. Y'all know I've been planting the seed for us to pay him to come on up to Ann Arbor. Now, Portnoy got the money. Speaking of which, can I digress for just a second? Did you see Portnoy? He's doing what I thought he was going to do last week, which is why I don't want him nowhere near the program. Now he's telling all of our business. He says he talked to Sharon Moore, and Sharon Moore said, "Look, bro, you got to talk to XYZ. Like, you can't just be throwing money around. You have to go through the collective." To which he says, "I don't like the collective. I want to talk straight to the man." Look, stop telling people how our sausage is made up in Ann Arbor. Just cut the check and shut the fuck up. Okay? Cut the check, shut your ass up. We need Arch Manning, and we can take Jaden Davis, and we can bring him along slowly.
Y'all are not getting Arch Manning. I don't know why you think Arch Manning would leave Texas.
He wouldn't, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I mean,
Christopher Williams said,
"Don't be out here spewing nonsense." Why are you spewing nonsense?
Wait a minute. Anything is possible. Didn't you hear Kevin Garnett when he won the title in Boston? Anything is possible. Plus, we're a blue blood too. And let them fumble this Ewers thing. We can slip right on in there. You know what I'm saying? Never stop dating your woman. Never stop dating your woman, because there's somebody on every job that's trying to get with your lady. All right. That Sasha, don't gas your moms up. Don't do that. Why would Arch leave Texas? He would leave Texas if they play with his playing time. Now he's saying, "I'm not understanding what's the issue. Quinn was rolling until he got hurt." Okay, so that's what he's saying. Why mess with Quinn? I agree. Because once you go to Arch, there's no putting the genie back.
You cannot go back.
My name is Matt Sluka. Once you put Arch in full time, guess I'll get ready for the draft. All right. Good stuff on buy or sell. Now we're on to the NFL, and Tasha, Mike, I need y'all's advice on something. So it looks like
stop rooting for the Titans and the Cowboys.
Hey, Titans won. Come on now.
Wait a minute. What'd she say?
I said stop rooting for the Titans and the Cowboys. You're welcome.
That's actually sound advice if you really love me, but I'm gonna digress.
I'm trying to save you a heart attack.
I need friends in my life. Those kind of friends. You are right.
And
I'm trying to get my
as I sip. You're right. They stressed me TF out. I texted Mike in the middle of the game, knowing that he was on his anniversary getaway. They said, "Man, they charging me. The ESPN charged me to watch this." I was devastated. That was awful, but we got the win. Okay, so NFL, the Las Vegas Raiders have now opened up the bidding process. They said for a second-round pick, you too can receive star wide receiver Davante Adams. Now, let me give y'all a little backdrop before I ask you two for your take on this. So Adams is not due any more guaranteed money after this season. I believe his contract is $28 million. Now, the reason the timing of this, the reason why the Raiders are doing this now is because his $25 million cap hit cuts in half if he's traded basically in week 5, this coming up week. So they like, "Look, bro, your hammy is kind of tight. Sit this thing down and then get on up out of here." Now, there was a post on, I believe it was Instagram or was it Twitter, where the person asked, "Has Davante Adams played his last game in Las Vegas?" And the damn head coach Antonio Pierce liked the tweet. The true definition of dysfunction. Like, Mike, the coach liked the tweet.
Yeah, that's new age right there.
That's savage. Come on, bro. Like, really? Y'all traded for him, gave up a first and a second to get him. So,
well, Antonio didn't. He wasn't the head coach.
Mike, hold on. Trees, we got you on this one, Trees. We got you on this one, Trees.
A damn Kirk and a cousin.
Because she got the answer for that 500 yards I saw him sling, but we're going to digress real quick. Back to Devontae Adams. So, second round pick. Mike, give me a team that should give up a second round pick for Devontae this year.
I think it's no brainer. I don't know. I think it was Tasha. Tasha, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's a no brainer that the Chiefs try to put their name in there. Like, the Chiefs are still at the top. You know, we've all pretty much said to be the champ, you got to beat the champ. And so most people have the champs winning again. I think their missing factor is part of their offense. I mean, they obviously have a quarterback. They got like 3 wide receivers that are hurt. They got a running back that's hurt. Like, you got to get some offensive on this. I think it's a no-brainer for the Chiefs. I could also see the Ravens because he did post Edgar Allan Poe. So that kind of like leans towards the Ravens. I think that would also be. So I definitely say AFC somewhere.
Yeah.
Mike, did Rashee Rice's mama really steal that package off that lady's porch?
She did.
What she looked like? I don't know if that was really her or not. Because somebody
she had Mama Rice on the back of her jersey. First of all, your son done knocked 3 or 4 people off the interstate like a pinball machine and took off by foot with his cronies, and then you out here taking packages. It's a ring cam. You know, everybody has some sort of CCTV or something.
Mike, you know that's going to be in the reel on Monday. You know that's going to be on there on Monday. Like sometimes, like this stuff just writes itself. Way to stay out of that too, Mike, so you don't get chopped up and edited and put out there for the world to see that you called his mama damn.
I don't care. She had no business doing it.
What was in the package, Mike? What she steal?
I don't know. It's probably diapers. Like, I don't know.
Ocho Cinco said, like, even if it was a thing of like revenge, maybe somebody has stolen her stuff before.
What? She stole some diapers. She stole some stirred up gifts. That's what she saw the package come from Trees. She said, "No, I got to have this. Rashid, this would be good on Rashid when he's on IR." You know what? Let me stop. Tasha, what team would be a good fit for Adams?
Now, what team would really need him?
Yes,
he wouldn't go. Would be the Steelers because Justin Fields could not get him the ball, and then you're going to have the same issue because they could definitely use another receiver. But I could see the Ravens being a top spot for him because you do have a quarterback that can get that ball to you. Not necessarily keen on having him in Kansas City because Kansas City, even though they're depleted in certain areas, you still got too much going on there. You got too many people that still can get their hands on the ball. But of course, if he got there, you would make him your number one, even over Kelsey. And Xavier Worthy is kind of like a speed guy, but I mean,
yeah, he hasn't fully developed into a real route tree wide receiver yet. He's just a go route. Rocket Ishmael type. Montreal, he probably got one of them toilet scrubbers. I mean, are they any count? Is it some new craze that I'm missing? I used the old tried and true comment.
It's the one that rotates, and puts a little.
I mean, I use bleach. I spray bleach in my toilet every 2 or 3 days.
It's a comment because you don't like those little spackle chips. Those spackle chips are not a good look. Look, Mike got teenage boys.
No, I don't step foot in their bathroom. Nope.
Look, right, you're a smart man. You're going to live a long life by making wise decisions. A teenager's bathroom? No, thank you. Y'all, I don't know why y'all have really just buried the lead and didn't put the obvious pick in there. First of all,
no, he's not going there.
The Raiders and the Chiefs. No, see, this is what the problem is with you two. You're always so bent on hating on a brother's team.
Nobody's hating, but that quarterback definitely can't get him the ball. So it ain't even no need you bringing it up.
How can Dak not get him the ball? See, that's what y'all do, putting the cart before the horse. You thought I was talking about.
No, we knew you were talking about Dallas, but Jerry already said no.
How's the quarterback not going to be able to get him the ball?
Jerry already said no because you got one Sedarian Lamb right there. Cedarian DeLeon Lamb, who's gonna get all them catches, and you done paid that man all that money, and he ain't about to share.
But y'all don't mind him going to Baltimore where they're gonna run it 45 times a game.
No,
Mike,
they need somebody on the outside of Zay Flowers out there. Put him.
Mike, you go ahead and start hating.
Andy Kane.
Sprinkle your hate in there, Mike, because
I was just gonna say the Cowboys can't get their offense right. They don't even know what they're doing next. They can't even get their run game going. Like, come on, man.
Well, if you can't run the ball, then throw the ball. And if you're gonna have Devontae Adams and CeeDee Lamb 1 and 2, if it's a second round pick, Dallas is gonna finish with 10, 11 wins. That's gonna be what pick 50 something.
With 2 top receivers. When it was the triplets, who was it? It was Irvin, it was Emmett, Mr. Starter, and it was Aikman. Even
Alvin Harper made big plays for that team.
Alvin Harper was not a star receiver. Devontae is a name. CD is a name. You can't have 2 diva receivers both wanting the ball. Then you're going to start having in fighting. Even in San Francisco, you had Taylor out there. He wasn't a Jerry Rice.
Y'all literally had Debo and Brandon Ayuk there and went to the Super Bowl.
You can't have 2. Now, I know you ain't bring up Debo as funky as you be talking about him. So you keep Debo name out your mouth because I put my hands on you about Debo. You sit up and you talk funky about Debo every time I bring up the 49ers. And now you out here tooting your horn for Debo? How dare you?
Debo right now has a red Q on top of his head everywhere he goes. He's like Hester Prynne, but it's a Q instead of an A.
Not Hester Prynne. Shouts out to the Scarlet Letter.
How about that? It should be Dallas. And I have a couple of honorable mentions. I think reuniting with the Jets would not be a bad move because Robert Saleh needs to change. He needs to save his job. And Garrett Wilson wants out of there anyway. Get Garrett Wilson the hell out of there and bring in Devontae Adams, and you're going to cook. And Buffalo. I think Buffalo would be a good spot for Devontae Adams as well because Josh Allen, it's now or never Buffalo.
But you got Shakir developing, and I think they have their perfect rhythm. And what did Josh Allen say? Now he has people or receivers where everybody's not wanting the ball and everybody's doing what they need to do. You bring somebody in like Devontae Adams, and it's going to be Stephon Diggs all over again. 6 days.
Well, no, Stephon Diggs is just a cancer. But 6 days ago, we saw Buffalo not be able to muster a touchdown against the worst passing team in the league.
You're not going to come after Stephon Diggs because he showed you what he was in Minnesota. He showed you what he was in Buffalo, and he's showing telling now down there in Houston. He's still putting up viable numbers.
No, Trees, she started this. First of all, because she tried to come for Dak, and I don't play like that.
First of all, that's never any clanger slander.
Debo
clanger truth.
Debo is Debo. Mike, no, don't laugh down there, Mike, because your quarterback looking real shaky. He's shaking like a stripper when Dollar Bill turned a red light on right there.
No, he want a new coach.
No, Sirianni got to go. He got to go. He's awful. But
like Kane Granddaddy told him in Minister Society, son, you got to go.
Mike, any thoughts on Philly since you got all this smoke for the Cowboys before we talk about America's team?
Nope.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want y'all to package and frame that note because as soon as the whistle of the buzzer sounds and the Dallas lose on Sunday, here come Mike in the chat. Oh, Jerry in the helicopter wondering what y'all efforts are doing. Oh, Jerry doing this. Oh, that ain't Jerry's baby. Oh, look at Dak. Look at Dak doing the Dougie at the wedding. They sorry. Oh, look at the Cowboys. Oh, here come the NFL meme stuff when they give you 1,000 slides and they all talking about the Cowboys. Here come that post. And here come Toxic calling us all out of our name. They're all in our video, all on the record, dancing, trying to dance on our grave. Here come these two. I can't even get through the post. My battery done went dead. Going through all of this hate for the Cowboys. But when it comes to a question about his raggedy, feathered ass Eagles, he says, nope. No. Mama, that ain't Jerry's baby. I think he won in court.
You said raggedy feather. You say that in the chat. That is Jerry's baby.
Y'all eviscerated me last week for a whole hour. And then Mike try to play nice on the shout outs. I don't do that. Y'all ain't finna do it. I've been holding this for a whole week. I couldn't wait to see y'all asses this morning. Good morning to you, by the way. All right. Mike, we got a big game on deck Sunday night. You see it. Really, it's Cinderella and the Wicked Stepsisters. It's America's team versus the Fighting SpongeBob SquarePants. The Dallas Cowboys and Pittsburgh Steelers renewed their rivalry. The rivalry where Dallas holds on to a 1-point all-time lead, a one-game all-time lead. They're 17-16. Pittsburgh will look to tie that thing up in Heinz Field on Sunday night under the lights in front of all of America, watching America's team, the most dominant, the most entertaining, the most captivating team in all of sports next to LeBron James and the Lakers. That would be the Dallas Cowboys, the fight Jerry Jones, fight on fight. Mike, we have strength versus strength and weakness versus weakness. So we're gonna play a game of who do you trust? And yes, Denise, the Black Force Ones. This is the Black Force One Bowl, and we're gonna see. So Mike, let's play a game. Who do you trust more? We're going to strength versus strength and weakness versus weakness. Do you trust Dallas's offense more in this game or Pittsburgh's defense?
I'm going to go Pittsburgh's defense. They're the most consistent from what I've seen.
Shocking. Okay. They are second in scoring in the NFL, but Dallas led the league in scoring last year. They got CD back. They got that back.
Last year, we talking about tomorrow, Sunday, honey. Tomorrow, we're not talking about last year. We talking about. He said Sunday. He said, "Who do you trust more?" You said the Dallas offense or the Pittsburgh defense. We're talking about the here and now.
And here and now says AP Coulter that SpongeBob Shoes is taking that L.
No, sorry, Mama Coulter.
You heard it. Tasha, who do you trust more? Dallas offense or Pittsburgh's defense?
The Steelers defense. I'm not going to ever go against that defense. They're on my fantasy team in both leagues.
Hey, you cooking on your fantasy team, though. Good job by you. Now, this is the same defense, y'all, that let a 75-year-old Joe Flacco get off the couch, take the stick that was propped in his back out, lay it on the bleachers, and then go out there and light up Pittsburgh for 300 yards passing.
What's the Cowboy offense been doing this season?
Yeah, scored 19 points against the Saints. Come on now.
Joe Flacco threw for 300 yards, and the man had dust on his. Denise. See, Tasha, well, the thing is, Sasha has ties to Pittsburgh, and I'm going to respect that. You just believing in an 8-8 coach who's the black Jeff Fisher. Okay. All right. He's coach keep a job, and you don't just keep a job as a compliment. So let's go weakness versus weakness, Tasha. You bat first.
Let me tell you something.
Uh-oh.
There would never be any ABOB slander allowed. Jeff Fisher is somewhere making documentaries about information and evidence that we've all known for years.
He was clout chasing.
He's sitting somewhere in a bar car lounger, rubbing his feet together, wishing that he could still be on the field coaching.
She said that's crazy. I'm telling the truth. That's the wait a minute. The whole family that came out now. The first half, he didn't do anything in the second half. Pittsburgh shut him down in the second half. Now, why let facts get in the way of a good argument, Mr. Matthews? Why would you do that? Why would you? I was cooking.
Y'all ain't gonna come for my baby daddy football team.
Mike is like, get us out of this. All right, so Tasha, I'm gonna abide by Mike's eyes because Mike is looking at me like moving on in a hurry. So we're gonna go weakness versus weakness. Are you going with Pittsburgh offense or the Cowboys defense?
I don't know. They kind of weak up front now because you got two key players out. So I'm gonna have to go. Yeah, I trust that Steeler offense a little bit more now, simply because you got D-Law
of the injuries.
And
right.
Because you got Mike out. Now, if those two were playing, I wouldn't. It would be definitely Dallas defense.
Do you agree, Mike?
I'm going to plead the fifth on that one. It's more of a coin flip on that. So,
because Philly's offense is trash. Mom said she got 5 on it. What y'all want to do? She said, do you want it in Bitcoin or do you want it in blood? She said, you get it either way. Like,
I'll take Bitcoin.
Mike is always clocked in. Mike, clock out, Mike. This is your 1 hour that you can just.
Hey, right now it's no.
No, what is it at right now? All right. We're going to pick that game in just a second, but there should be some fireworks. I do agree with you, Tasha. I am extremely concerned with DeMarcus Lawrence and Michael Parsons being out, but Pittsburgh, the offense is ridiculously bad. I mean, Mike, let me ask you this.
If they had Devontae Adams.
Never. Mike, let me ask you
Real
this.
running back, Najee Harris.
Najee. Oh, and there's no Jalen Warren and no Cordell Patterson. So it's just him, and you know he can't tote the rock 30 times a game. This is looking like a coin toss of mediocrity coming in on Sunday night. Mike, if Pittsburgh loses again this week and drop to 3-2, is it time to start thinking about blowing the dust off Russell Wilson?
No, I don't think so.
Russ ain't cooking no more. He's
He's the coach on the sideline. That's what he's doing.
And he's now become like a Flacco. He should be now forever if he wants to continue to play a career backup now.
This was an underrated post. I got money in the bank. Shawty, what you drink? I got money in the bank. Hey, Shawty, what you drink? Hey, I'm sorry. Young Buck and Lil Scrappy went off on that track. Good job by you, Denise. Denise, you're going to make me pick Pittsburgh because of that. She says, I know Russ just collecting the check. Well, hell, the way they popping out babies every 12 months. Hey, hold that clipboard. Hold that clipboard. She
said, the Steelers only paying him $1 million.
Hey, mom's like that diamond tea. Mom's like that diamond tea. Hey, it's almost Thanksgiving, Mama. I'm counting down the days. All right, let's get to Michigan Mike's lock of the week. Mike, the floor is yours.
All right. I got two. I'll do my college one first. I got Ohio favored by 18.5 against Iowa. So I'm gonna pick that one. I think Ohio State is gonna make a statement on this one because no one's talking about them for some reason. And I do think Ohio State has a really strong team. And everyone's sleeping on them right now. People talking about SEC. You got to watch out for that Big Ten defense. They are still part of that conference. So I'm going to go take them. And then I'm going to take Chicago Bears favored by 4 against the Panthers.
Now, I hope you all listened to Mike last week when he told you to take them Titans. And I think some people in the chat said they ain't going to take that bet. Then you just threw away some money. You could have went on and got you a meet and 3 down in Silver Sands and had a good old time. Now, Mike, I'm sorry, because when we in the booth, we got to tell the truth. And I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Was it not you, Mike, last year that got on one Tasha T. Sizzle when she said that Ohio was looking better than Michigan last year? Did you call her a fake fan?
Probably, yeah.
He's like, that's like some.
He did, but he sounded real fake fanish.
But I also said Michigan was going to win the title. So.
But you sounded real.
That's what I said. I didn't say Michigan was going to win this year.
This season.
No, but you said Ohio is. We got some concerns because you keep talking about Ohio.
And the year before, I said Georgia was going to win. So.
Wait a minute. No, I don't. I'm just wait a minute now because you selling the Wolverines and you're buying the Ohio State. Is that what we doing, Mike? We're gonna start calling you Michigan, Mike, because this year we I don't know, Mike. This is
called like I see it. They look like a better team.
This is troubling. Now I know Tasha said that last year, and you lost it. I'm just saying. I'm just wondering. But now, speaking of losing,
you still losing.
Where the last no.
Speaking of losing, let me throw my name in there.
Speaking of losing. Speaking of losing.
You don't want undefeated and you still losing. Come on, bro.
You see how they try to this is the crabs in a podcast episode of crabs in a podcast. Because last week Mike said, "Oh, you only averaging 1 pick a week." Then I go 5-0 and I'm still being slighted. But I'm right back in it, ladies and gentlemen.
You are in it now.
You see it. I know you see it. I know you see it. Hey, I'm back after an undefeated 5-0 week last week. Shout out to the Titans in Alabama, in Minnesota. I could go on, but I won't. Mike, let's get to these picks, shall we? Tasha T. Sizzle, you're in the lead for now. But y'all going first because I don't want y'all trying to keep me buried in the bottom. I already know who I'm picking. Let's start with today's game in the SEC. Missouri, Texas A&M. T. Sizzle, who you got?
Ooh, I'm going to go with A&M. I like that quarterback. He's from here.
Okay, you're going with A&M. Mike?
Yep, A&M. A&M at home is a different A&M. So
that is true.
They started doing this here. Shouts out to Drew.
Don't walk on the ground. Drew, I got smoke for you too, Andrew Thomas Merriman. Just wait. You just wait till I catch a hold of you this weekend.
Not the government name.
Yeah, we're going government on that one. I'm going with Missouri in their second ranked defense. All right. NFL. Over in London, I believe it is. We got the Jets and the Minnesota Vikings. Do the Minnesota Vikings make it to 5-0? Tasha T. Sizzle.
Yeah, I'm going for the Vikings because the Jets are just a clusterfuck right now.
Wow. Okay. I agree with you, by the way. Mike?
Yep, I agree.
All right. We have Baltimore versus Cincinnati. I mean, really, do we really need to pick this one? Cincinnati can't even beat they meet. How they gonna beat?
I got Baltimore.
Now, see, had I said that,
you just said F. Didn't you, Mike? Hope you got your headphones in. Don't let your speakerphone out when we're on podcast. All right. Buffalo versus Houston in the Stephon Diggs revenge game.
Houston.
I'm going Houston.
Dang it. I got Houston too.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, you see how they leaning towards OPL after that 5-0? You see how they
I'm sure this next one won't be the same. So
the lean back. The lean back. Hey, the lean back. The lean back. Come on. We got Dallas versus Pittsburgh under the lights on Sunday.
Steelers.
Mike?
I got Dallas.
Mr. Matthews, Miss Denise, you lovely Tasha T. Sizzle. I'm putting on my Black Forces for one night.
Oh, so they arrived.
I'm putting on my Black Forces for one night. I'm going with the Cowboys. I'm sorry. I'm going with the Steelers. Steelers.
Tisk. I would never choose against my team. Tisk.
Steelers. Right. No, I'm close enough. I can taste victory. So I'm going with the Steelers. Yes, sir. Hey, Treese, be nice. She says, whoa, mama, she was talking to you. Coach Reed's son. Okay, thank you. Way to go, PL. Then she says, wait a minute, Paul, I love you, but you're going to need some credit recovery with that percentage.
How do I close this?
She said, I know somebody that can help you.
Damn, Trees. Damn. Their percentage ain't too much better. Their percentage would be an F at Pearl-Cohn Comprehensive High School. How about that? They're in the 50th percentile. Tasha, who you shouting out this week?
Y'all always give me, and I always forget who I got to shout out.
Mike?
Oh, I know one. I can do this because this will be my last Saturday here. Shouts out to everyone who took their time to come and see me, to come and pick me up, to come and give me a ride because I do not have a car while I'm here. So if I didn't see you, it wasn't by choice. I'm sorry. But if I did get to see you, those of you who made a way out of no way to come and see little old me here, thank you. I love you. And I appreciate you.
She ain't told me she loved me. I don't know. I want to be loved. I want to be loved by you, baby. And Mike, who you shouting out this week?
Looking ass.
I got 3 shout outs.
A trifecta.
I'm gonna take 100 minutes. I got 1. Happy birthday to Christina, which we already said. My sister, who's in Atlanta area, she turns 30 today. and then happy anniversary this past week to my lovely wife. It's 4 years. We went and celebrated at a resort, so that was nice.
Your skin looked a little tight there too, Mike. You look like you had a good trip.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. Pretty nice.
Okay, all right.
And then also shout out to all the Card Marvel fans that have been supporting me. We have another show at noon Central Time, so come check us out. It's in the chat.
Now we got Stiana Fernandez showing her love. Now we got to do this shout out right. We have a shout out to Miss Sheila Hastings, who retired from Tennessee State University on yesterday.
Oh my gosh! Let me get some of that. Let me get some of that retirement check, Sheila. I'll be on my way.
Now that is life goals to, and I'm being totally serious when I say this. All joking aside, to live to the point to where you can walk away from your place of employment with your health, with your children, with your grandchildren, with still life ahead of you. That's the life goal, to make it to retirement age, to get to enjoy some of that downtime after all those years of labor. Congratulations as the congratulations pour in. Yes, we love you. And she said they love having you home. That's the congratulations pour in. Mike, we're putting this up here now. Mike, go ahead and give the people, let the people know what we got going on here.
Yeah, we're just doing some cards. We do Marvel cards at $1 auction. So this is like an example. So yeah, come check it out. I'm doing noon Central Time.
Noon Central Time. All right, and you are very, very welcome. Now, shout out to my nephew Carter Paul Coulter for being the 5th grade scholar of the quarter yesterday. He also won the math award. Because if you're a coach, you gotta learn how to count that money. You know what I'm saying? Now, since you're a math major, Carter, I'm trusting you not to squander my fortune, because you my primary beneficiary. And Stephanie, don't try to kill me because there's clauses.
Ain't no need me offing you because I thought it was me.
No, ain't no need to kill me. It's going to Carter. And Stephanie, ain't no need to kill me either because there's clauses in there in case of homicide.
On the strychnine. Cancel the strychnine order, Mike. I thought it was me.
We love you more, Miss Hastings, and congratulations. And you see her in her Tennessee State blue and white. As the congratulations continue to pour in. Congratulations, Carter. That boy needs to stop growing. Okay, he's almost taller than me now. Congratulations, hold on. And Mike left one out. Congratulations to your son for cooking in his football game as we talk defense. And
first time linebacker had 4 tackles.
First time linebacker getting in there and getting those people to the ground. Congratulations to him as well. Ladies and gentlemen, and look who come in late for church. Now, we done already passed the collection plate. He says, I'm going to get with you next time. Okay. In fantasy. You didn't knock him off the ranks of the undefeated, did you, Tasha?
Maybe I did. And maybe I did.
Hey, T-Sizzles for Schnizzles is cooking, y'all. She's like she's ranked third. She done passed me. I digress. Ladies and gentlemen, I want y'all to enjoy your families today. Enjoy your friends today. Tasha, enjoy your last couple of days in Nashville. Mike, get some downtime in, bro. Enjoy your day. Y'all, but make sure y'all get y'all naps in. And yes, congratulations, first time linebacker. And AP Coulter said it. You know how we close the show. We'll see you in 6 days and 23 hours. Until then, Mike.
Go Blue.
Tasha.
Vamos Azul.
We are ranked 10 in the country. And we out. Peace.